Every time you lift, you prove to yourself that you can do hard things. That carries into everything: work, relationships, the way you carry yourself. Without it, you stay stuck in self doubt, relying on motivation instead of trusting yourself. And in my opinion, that's why most people never change. I want to tell you a story about Sue. Sue is one of my favorite clients of all times. She is 5 foot nothing, weighed under 100 pounds when she first started at Sasquatch, and she was very quiet. She lacked the level of confidence that she really wanted. And even if she didn't know it at the time, one of the reasons that she came to Sasquatch is because she wanted to find a little bit more confidence and a little bit more strength in herself than she had. For the first couple months at Sasquatch, Sue did great. She came into classes, she was consistent, she was lifting weights, but she would always reach for the lightest weights available at the gym. So we had, 15, 35, 45-pound barbells. She would always reach for the 15-pound barbell. She would always put on the 10-pound plates, right? So she was lifting 35 pounds. And we would do deadlifts and she would do 35 pounds. And we would do bench press and she would do 35 pounds. And we would do strict press and she would just lift the regular 15-pound bar over her head, and that was it. And for a couple of months, we kind of let her get away with that. Like she just stuck to that because that was in her comfort zone. But then something really cool happened. One day, almost out of nowhere, we were doing deadlifts. And mind you, this was back in 2014. We had a tiny little 800 square foot gym. We'd stuff 12 people into these 800 square feet, and just like everybody would be lifting. And I was walking around because I was the only coach and make sure that everybody was doing great. And I walked up to Sue and I was like, okay, Sue, are we picking a different barbell today? Like, let's go for the red one. And she was like, I don't know. Let me feel it out. And she started warming up her deadlifts like any other day. I was like, okay, maybe today's not today. So I turn around and I start coaching all these other people. Remember, there's like 12 people in class. And all of a sudden I turn around and I see Sue's bar. And Sue's got the 35-pound bar. And she's got, I think it was either 25 or 35-pound plates on that bar. So she's got almost 100 pounds on this barbell. If you remember correctly, Sue is like 5 foot nothing and less than 100 pounds total. And she like gets up to that weight. And before I can like even reach over there and coach her or do anything, she just picks this weight up, gets it to like about mid-thigh, and just drops a giant F-bomb as she locks the lift out, smiles real big, and then drops the weight. I mean, everybody in the gym, there were 12 other people working out, was like jaw to the floor. We'd never seen her lift a bunch of weight, much less cuss in front of everybody. And she felt amazing. She felt so strong. She felt so powerful in that moment. And it was just a complete turning point for her. From that point forward, every time she stepped into the gym, she was challenging herself. She was making sure that she was lifting as much as she could. She was trying new things to see if her body could do it. It became a game for her, and she just felt so strong being able to do that. I thought that was really cool until a couple of weeks later, something way cooler happened. I'm getting ready to open up class time, and she's one of the first people in the door, and she goes, Isaac, guess what? She's like all excited. She's like up on her toes, like jumping up and down basically. And she goes, I went to Home Depot because I needed to pick up bags of gravel for a yard project that I had. And the guy came out and was like, hey, do you need some help carrying these bags of gravel? They're 50-pound bags of gravel. I don't know if you've ever picked one of those up. They're heavy, like heavy for me. And she went, nope, and picked up the 50-pound bag of gravel and dragged it over, walked it over to her van and like loaded it up and did this for like 2 or 3 bags and then offloaded them at her house. And she just felt unbelievable. She gave me a big hug. She was so excited. It's the small things, right, in everyday life that make us feel strong and capable and competent. And for her, it was those bags of gravel. It was just this really cool thing. And we shared a moment, and she was a great client for many, many, many years after that. So moral of the story, Sue knew that she wanted more confidence. She knew that she wanted more strength, but she maybe never expected it to come from a place like a strength training gym, hidden in these like physical challenge that we present ourselves and the way we tackle our training is this massive opportunity for growth and the ability to really tackle what life throws at us. I don't think Sue expected to be able to do something like that after a couple months at Sasquatch. I certainly don't think she expected it to change her entire identity or her perspective on her strength or her confidence, but it did. So if you want something like that, if that's interesting to you, if you think that going through a journey like that would be worth it, I got some tips for you. See if you got some place to start. So first one is pretty simple. Don't be afraid to lift heavy. I know it took Sue a couple months to get into the rhythm of like, hey, I'm going to challenge my body and have that big aha moment, but you can make that much shorter for yourself. When you get to the gym, I'm not talking max weight. I'm not talking go after the 100-pound dumbbells immediately. But when you get going, find something that's challenging. It should be challenging for somewhere in the rep range of like 8 to 15, maybe 20 repetitions max. If you can do it for 30 plus reps, it's not a challenging weight for you. Okay? The whole thing of like extremely high reps for lean tone muscle versus like lower reps for big bulky muscle, that's not true. We can get into the nuance in another video, but for the most part, 8 to 15 repetitions, golden ratios for you guys. Make sure that it's heavy, okay? Make sure that it's challenging because that's the signal that your body needs to be able to grow muscle. Okay? That's number one. Number two is consistency is what's going to build your confidence. Okay. So when you pick a routine, I want you to stick to it. I don't particularly care what the routine's about as long as it centers around strength training. You guys can get ChatGPT to give you a routine if you want to. You can follow our 6-week at home program. I'm going to put a link somewhere around here for you guys to click and download it if that's of interest to you. So you could just follow our program and see how that works for you. Whatever you do, I just want you to stick to it. If you remember back to Sue, she stuck with the program for months and then eventually something clicked. And that click is what made all the difference. That would never have come if she came 2 weeks and then gave up on it. Okay? These things aren't miracles. They're not going to happen instantaneously. You got to give it time. You got to try it out. So be patient and be consistent. I promise the confidence, all of it will come. Last piece of advice, if you're willing to listen to me, group strength training, okay? Accountability is the ultimate tool in the arsenal of you being able to be consistent and being able to actually make meaningful changes in your body, in your fitness, in your confidence. So power to the people. The more people you have around you keeping you accountable to coming in, the better it is, which is why I love group strength training. That's why the core of our program is group strength training, and we'd rather do that than personal training with people, specifically because if you have your coach and then you have your performance coach, but then you also have your peers inside of class texting you like, hey, Sue, where were you? We missed you at 9 a.m. What's going on? Everything okay? It's that much harder to fall off and not do the program. So if you can, and you have it near you, a group strength training gym is going to be a phenomenal way to make sure that you stay super accountable and frankly enjoy the process more. Lifting with friends is just more enjoyable than lifting by yourself, in my very humble opinion. I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you want to watch more videos like it, click here and take it easy.